Here I go. We here. We here. How long? 1 minute.
Oh, the Wi-Fi go to iHeartCast.
We both just shared it, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll be here tomorrow. I guess it just texts me the guest for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And he is one of my people, so.
He got you.
But Friday we will not be here.
Okay.
Who's running the show? What about Doris Day?
We're gonna do a pre-broadcast, so.
What about?
You're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It is Wednesday, and you know we changed that to win, W-I-S, because we are winners. And you know what? All you have to do is have faith in God, because faith in God knows no defeat. And I just heard that from Bishop Corbin Bush, who was on right before the Brunch Bunch, and I loved it. And I'm so happy to be posted with.
It's your girl Tamara Fair on the air. What's up, believers? It is Wednesday, midday, almost the end of the week. But you got 2 more days to make it right. If you got it wrong, if you got it right, you got 2 more days to make it right. Or what's up, Marcel?
You know I'm smiling because
I don't know why you acting so goofy. I was just wondering, but I'm thinking, okay, well, that's what you want to do.
Well, I'm gonna put myself on blast and put you on blast just a little bit, because you walked in here like one of the soloists in church who they hear their music playing and they don't get up to walk to the mic. You know, like they surprised. That's what made me laugh.
Yeah, that part. I don't know nothing about that.
Well, for those that grew up in church, it was always that soloist. You know,
I grew up in the Catholic church. We had no soloist.
In the black church, you was the soloist and it was your song, and bet nobody else try to sing your song. But you know the music start playing and you know your intro, but they always sit and look a little shocked like they don't know it's their song.
Yeah, well, Monsignor Moran, he didn't do none of that.
Well, you know what we gonna do? We got some hot topics.
That means fire caliente.
Fire, yeah. I'm talking about slap somebody for your wife type of topic.
Ooh. Wow. I don't know if we can do that.
Listen.
Let me say this. Let me tell you this before we go anywhere. Y'all, when you wake up in the morning, I don't know what your ritual is. I don't even know if you have one, but make sure that if you don't get one,
yes,
be grateful. Wake up with a grateful heart, because I don't care what your circumstances are. You can always figure it out. Believers, you know what I'm talking about, whether you're Catholic, Baptist, Buddhist, whatever you are, you know what I'm talking about. Because today, Mariah and I, we went to Lisa Lou or Lisa Lau in Chinatown.
Mm-hmm.
And she's an herbalist. And, you know, I told you all I have this aneurysm, right? And so Mariah's going through some issues too. And so my cousin, who's fighting 2 types of cancers, said, go to this Lisa Lau because she shrunk my cancer.
Wow.
Literally. Her name is Lisa Lau. She's 24th in Wentworth. And literally, whatever you're going through, it doesn't necessarily have to be traditional. It could be way out the box thinking. But guess what? We got an out the box God.
Yep. And you know what? This goes with the saying I heard on Bishop Bush: have faith in God. And you know what? He said, faith in God knows no defeat.
That's right.
And you know what, believers? We will not be defeated because of our faith in God. Don't go nowhere. We got way more to share right here on Inspiration 1390. Thank you, Tina.
I don't know why you was doing all that goofiness.
I'm
talking about somebody. What? No,
because,
like, is he conducting?
No, because I was kind of, even though I knew we were coming in, but then I'm like, no, we ain't coming in. And Zoe did like this, hot. And I'm like, what? Tammy was just downstairs. Why this woman ain't up
you don't even want to know why.
Trust me.
You don't even want. Let me just say, I didn't think I was going to come out the bathroom today.
Oh, Lord.
And then I thought about you that day. You was like, I've been here 15 minutes.
Girly, yeah. And Adam like, Tammy here? I'm like, yeah, you ain't see her. I saw him, David. I don't see her. I'm like, she'll be here, I hope, shortly.
No, you know what? It was kind of crazy. You got my stand?
Yes, I do.
And a pen.
Yep.
I got my own pen today.
I brought my own pen today, too. And I brought the...
What?
Thank you for allowing me access to do nothing.
Did you go on it?
Never.
Okay, so that next year, no, you won't get it.
Yes, next year I won't have all these issues. Tammy, I need to meet a producer or something. I'm sure I'm on reality TV. I just don't have no cameras follow me.
Then guess what? You're not on reality TV for real. What's up, Zoe? What's up, everybody?
This is just a reality.
No, seriously, your reality. This yours? We can
No,
guess.
we're getting a call today.
Stacy has a guest calling me.
Oh, okay. All right. Today's Wednesday. Stacey's not here today.
Yep, we right on time.
You know, we got to stop watching the news. I mean,
Why?
I don't watch the news. Typically.
I watch the news all day, every day.
This is why you're something's wrong. Because the news is the worst reality show on the air.
That's true.
Really is hard.
That is
Oh
true.
my God. I'm loving this hoodie. Yes, honey.
6 years of working in this industry, all news. This is the first job that I've been at where it's music. And
Girl, I can't take the news.
The talk shows will literally just be straight politics all day long, all night.
And it can
Overnight
get
is even
exhausting, but this war situation,
Dang.
Yeah.
this is terrible.
And I had to work through Trump era.
Oh.
So
I probably would have loved that.
That was hard.
I think he's a
That was
secret.
horrible. We would
Yeah,
get
he called me a Republican.
We would get stuff.
No, Tammy called you what yesterday?
I'm like, he didn't do that. And as soon as it would come up on the TV, we would be like, he really
did that.
There is no secret to my political affiliation because I say it all the time on the show. I'm an independent. I don't vote people. Party, I vote people. But yeah,
Crickets.
You know what?
Nobody don't care.
All these diehard Democrats.
Nobody don't care about what you vote.
Where we at, Zoe?
Go ahead.
You will never, ever guess what Morgan State wants to do to keep students safe. Now, you know, we reported about the situation at Morgan State. And one thing that I continuously love about the Brunch Bunch is you don't have to be dangling about news topics because we're going to always update you when there's an update to update you with, right? Here you go. We want to hit. Here you go. So Morgan State University announced plans to build a wall around its campus.
They may be Trump supporters too.
Does that sound familiar?
And I didn't mean too as if I'm a Trump supporter.
No, you said TOO. That means inclusive.
I meant
also.
two as in Adam, but keep going.
Well, the new security measure comes after a campus shooting that left 5 people injured and forced the cancellation of the remaining homecoming events for all of those who have gone to homecoming events. You know how sacred it is. It is the time where people come from all around the world that attended the school, and even those who did not attend the school, but maybe friends or supporters of that school come and get their groove on, right? So last week, gunfire erupted on the Northwest Baltimore campus as students walked from the coronation ceremony to the coronation ball. Usually that's a festival occasion, right? Well, the campus was placed on lockdown and students were ordered to shelter in place. 5 people were injured, 4 which were students. The police say that the ones injured were not the intended targets, but that they may have been closer to the targets than they should have been. Certainly, the students and staff demanded answers as to how easily multiple shooters were allowed to walk through the campus. And in the town hall Tuesday University, President David Wilson introduced the new security measure of building the wall, explaining the goal to eliminate unfettered access to the school's campus. Well, the wall would extend off the existing barriers by an additional, get this, 8,000 feet and encircle the majority of the campus. Well, President David Wilson ain't playing no games with his staff and his student security. University officials said significant security upgrades were underway before the shooting, but they're now moving forward with much more urgency. And in addition to the wall, other potential upgrades include installing more metal detectors in the campus buildings, exploring weapon detection technology, increasing police patrol, and building additional security guard booths. Well, Wilson said the anticipated total cost of this new security upgrade will be a whopping $22 million. I bet you everybody that's thinking about going to an HBCU, their parents are going to be like, you're going to this one. I know you coming home in 4, or maybe if you're on a 5 or 6 year plan, however many years you're going to be. Well, the announcement also comes after the school demolished the spite wall from the 1930s located near the school's entrance and built segregate Black students from the majority white surrounding neighborhood. Well, just as the barrier was torn down, another one is being built due to the threat of campus security. We're doing this, let me be clear, not to keep our neighbors out of the community that exist on the campus, but we're doing it to keep the bad actors out. That's according to President Wilson. Now, I'm not sure how I feel about that. One side of me as a parent says, I would want my child to be safe. I understand the ramifications of tearing down the wall because of what it actually meant, that it was a tool to segregate the Black students from the white community. I get that. Well, you know what? Everybody don't have to be integrated.
Yeah.
If you got to be safe, you got to be safe. I'll check you out on the other side of this wall, but
that's it.
You know, people can integrate as they choose, but I think that if you're talking about security, I think that you could, if you talk to other parents who've lost their children on campuses and thought their children were coming home, they might appreciate such an investment in security. So I don't know. I'll tell you tomorrow after I digest it all.
I mean, you know, build that wall. Listen, if you need to,
you said that yesterday. We weren't talking about students.
Build that wall.
No, day before yesterday.
If you need to build it, build it. But I'm glad that they're doing something.
Yes.
You know, solution based is what we
and fast solutions.
Fast solution.
Yes.
He didn't wait. And clearly, this HBCU got some money in the pocket because $22 million is not a small bill.
Well, let me tell you something. Had it been Fisk, we ain't got $22 million. It would have been a chicken wire fence around it. And you'd had to go through the wires to dodge
through the wire. Oh. Well,
I am excited about that.
Well, listen, that's what I'm like. I'm with him. You know, at least he came with some solutions, and he's not trying to say, well, your kids won't be safe. People don't want to send their kids. Build that wall to keep the people who shouldn't be there.
He said the bad actors, you know, in the community, we talk about the riffraff.
You talk about your little cousin Pookie them that ain't doing, you know, sitting, waiting to just do something. And I'm sure the neighborhood has changed from when the 1930s, when it was all white. Because when you say Baltimore, I didn't even realize this was in Baltimore.
Chocolate City.
Oh, yeah.
I understand they say D.C. is Chocolate City, but Baltimore is like Milk Chocolate City.
I see why they building that wall, but
You know what?
we
What a commercial.
we're praying for the victims of this shooting.
Yes,
Uh,
they all survived.
I mean, but even not just the ones who were shot, the ones who were on campus who is mentally affecting them as well, and it's traumatizing. Now, you know what? I'm sure you saying I love the president, but I'm loving God for giving him a mind to build that wall. It's Erica Campbell. I love God right here on the Brunch Bunch.
It's funny, I was thinking about this song today.
And I say, Zoe, you must have been loving Mary. Now we have Mary. Now Erica Campbell.
You a hater.
Not because I put on there Erica Campbell because I was thinking of you, Tamara.
Thank you.
I was like, you know, I'll put this on because I'm like, I haven't put it on.
What's up, Bettina? What's up, Stay in Your Lane?
I love God. Not love. L-U-H.
I was on time for your info, Stay in Your Lane. I was early, actually. I did a promo video.
Oh, yeah, we got to.
Yeah, but I said we should start coming a little earlier and start talking about what we're doing today to post on our story. Yeah. So I did it today. So if you here early tomorrow, you can do it.
You're not coming tomorrow.
I will be here tomorrow. I won't be here Friday. We will neither one of us.
No, and I won't be here Monday. And my plane lands at 11:30 a.m. But you know how that is. Customs, I won't be here.
When, Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday she gets back.
You ain't gonna be here Tuesday.
Especially if you land at 11:30.
Yeah, by the time you get your bag, and you coming from overseas, that's custom.
Yeah, no. That's at least an hour line.
Hey, Ann Parker. She said, hello, King and Queen. Bettina said, hello, Brunch Bunch. Action Jackson. Welcome back, Tammy and Adam. This trap gospel.
You see how it's moving me?
So, speaking of moving, I'm moving on.
Out.
Segment time.
Oh. You don't tell me when to move on. It's my day. You just happen to be in that seat.
I just love this seat.
I just cannot even imagine how. You know what? Your life can change in 2 seconds.
Trust me.
Literally. That's why you got to live in the now. Understand that your now is really impacting your next. So worry about your now more than you do your next.
Yep, that is. Don't worry about tomorrow because tomorrow's not promised.
Nope.
Worry about today.
Oh, I was so excited about this Chinese herbalist, though.
Ann said, Tammy, you were very missed.
Oh, thank you, Ann.
Tammy said, didn't nobody miss me when I was gone?
I didn't say nothing.
Yes, you did. Yesterday, you said it to Winona. You said, didn't nobody miss you when you was gone?
To Winona. I was talking about here, but the fans missed you. The listeners, the believers.
Had me going home crying. I just cried all night. I couldn't even
You need
sleep.
A tissue, Tito. you love God? What's wrong
I
with
love
you?
God.
You don't love God?
All right, Zoe, you can zone this and what's
Didn't
going
I tell
on.
you Zoe this ain't his day? I'm too scared.
It's your sponsor day and he ain't on time.
It's only 12:19.
That's fast.
Let me tell you something. You don't run the whole show.
I don't run nothing.
Every day you want to come here.
I just want to make sure we're on time.
You're not Charmaine.
I'm the timekeeper.
Charmaine is the timekeeper.
No, Whoopi is the timekeeper on The View. So
we're not on The View. Charmaine was the timekeeper
like the
when
View,
she got
so.
off. The timekeeper left.
She was the timekeeper.
She'd be like,
thank you, stay in your lane. She said, I missed you, Action Jackson.
Yeah. That's not what she said when you was gone. I'm kidding. She ain't say nothing. People really just like the two of us.
I think so, too. It's a different dynamic when both of us are here.
It's definitely. Yesterday I was dizzy the whole day.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, but today I feel better. I'm not dizzy, but I'm not as dizzy. And I noticed when I thought back, I was very smug yesterday. Like you might not have noticed. You probably did. Because I was quick with the comeback.
You were.
Quick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Because I meditate in the morning now, right? And that centers me.
Yeah.
But yesterday I meditated, but then when I got here, it was reminiscent.
You were
a
little,
yeah.
Now that I play it back, but you can be sometimes a little smug, but it's like funny, but you were just back to back to back.
Yep.
Yes,
and it was coming, and I noticed it because the day that I had that episode and I was sitting right there, it kind of was reminiscent, and I was determined not to like let it take me out. And yesterday, it impacted me a different way. So sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Listen, you're a Gemini too, so multiple personality.
It doesn't matter. Your Gemini don't give you grace to disgrace anybody.
That's true. But I love you. And you've been cussing me out for 5 years, so it's okay.
You know the 15th is our 7th-year anniversary.
The 15th.
Oh,
The
what?
15th of being on in iHeart.
I'm talking about 15 for what month?
This month.
October.
Duh. I'm going back to yesterday. I'm going back to the.
So what's going on? I started a segment, but I believe Tammy stopped me from doing it. But I think we should bring it back. Church announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I do want to just make a quick announcement.
Church got a corner market on that.
Yeah, I know, right? But I want to shout out that the Jackson Action Coalition and the Chicago Dad Squad, our Dad Venture event, has completely sold out.
This is
450 people are registered. We have 150 fathers and 300 kids that will be taking over Brookfield Zoo on October the 21st. Woo, 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 woo,
Get ready. Yeah.
So I want to shout out to all of our sponsors and partners, but I did want to just make an appeal that we're still looking for sponsors. And if that's your target market as a business or organization and you want to reach those people, definitely reach out to us. Now, in other news, I don't think
BBF.
You may have heard this news. I'm going to come back to that one. Jada Pinkett Smith's, I said at the beginning of the show, we had a hot topic that was slap somebody for your wife hot. Jada Pinkett Smith's highly anticipated memoir, Worthy, has less than a week before it hits shelves across the world. But that isn't stopping the Red Table Talk host from dropping some shocking revelations ahead of its debut. One of those revelations, the fact that she and husband Will Smith have been secretly separated since 2016.
What?
The Set It Off star shared as much during her.
First of all, that's a lie.
No.
Who go slap somebody on stage at the Oscars when you separated?
Because they were separated and he couldn't tell about. He was hurt. So listen, the Set It Off star shared as much during her exclusive interview with People when talking about the infamous Oscar slap, revealing what she really thought of that moment. Jada explained that much like viewers at home, she initially thought it was a skit. And I quote, "I thought this is a skit," she said. "I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit." When the two finally had a moment alone together after the show, Jada's only words for him were, "Are you okay?" Shockingly enough, that moment didn't drive a wedge between them, as the Girl Trip star shares that the two of them, along with their 3 kids, Jaden, Willow, and Trey, are figuring out what life moving forward looks like for all of them. And I quote, "We're still figuring it out," Jada explained in regards to her marriage. "We've been doing really heavy-duty work together. We just got deep love for each other, and we're going to figure out what that looks like for us," end quote. In an equally shocking revelation, Jada also shared how her children have been instrumental in teaching her about self-acceptance, and how Jaden in particular helped save her life. Discussing how she hit a supremely low moment in her life after turning 40 and fell into depression, she explained, and I quote, "When I turned 40, I was in so much pain I couldn't figure a way out besides death. So I made a plan," end quote. More from the People magazine. Jada is aware how her life looked from the outside, especially about a decade ago. The glamour and the smiles, the mansions, gowns, and movie premieres. They have it all. But while I was really living the dream, I hit a huge wall, a massive amount of depression. I think that I looked at having outside sources to supplement for the voids I was feeling inside. She said the voices were incoming, and I quote, "Just kill yourself. You're not worth anything. You ain't blank," end quote. Jada began to plot her death, and I quote, I started looking for places, cliffs where I could have an accident because I didn't want my kids to think that their mother had committed suicide, end quote. But thanks to a tidbit of a conversation between a friend of Jaden's, she was introduced to the plant-based psychedelic drug ayahuasca. If you've never heard of it, we will.
I ain't never heard of that.
Oh, it's a
hallucinogen.
It's a psychedelic hallucinogen, but you drink it, and it's an herbal from the rainforest, all that. I've researched it before. It seems like
it. She was finna do it too.
I thought about going to an ayahuasca retreat once, but legend told me, heck no. But she said ayahuasca helped her. It gave her a new intimate relationship with myself and that I had never had before. She said the suicidal thoughts completely went away. She later added to each of them and understand their superpower. So that was deep.
That was that was sub deeper.
I told you it was gonna get
But a couple of questions. So since 2016, they've been separated, but I see videos of her in the kitchen and them talking about, see what I've been going through, this kind of thing. So there's some, I don't get it.
Well,
like, so you staged that, so you're lying?
No, when you separate it, as in like you're separated but still living together. Have you ever seen people do that? No, I have.
I've seen people be divorced and still live like on the upstairs and the downstairs for economic reasons.
So that's the same as separated. I mean, they just didn't legally file for divorce, but they were separated. That's how she was able to get in her entanglement with Buddy. I mean, it's messy from the outside looking in, but maybe it was working for them. But clearly it wasn't working for them because Will went and slapped Chris Rock. But you got to think, some men, and we talked about domestic violence yesterday. Look, this is a hot topic. We talked about domestic violence yesterday, and we also mentioned the different forms of domestic violence. And so the mental trauma, Will Smith was basically going through, right? Yeah. And he put up with it because he loved his wife. And sometimes we put up with stuff that we do not want to for the people that we love, unfortunately.
But if she was experiencing suicidal tendencies and was getting voices telling her she was worthless, you can't heal where you hurt.
Yeah.
And so you have the means, the resources, and the impetus to go ahead and remove yourself from where you're hurt and get to the healing, pathway to healing.
But people don't always know because, and I think near the peer development, these are not the views and opinions of near the peer development, but whoever's commenting said, we assume money brings happiness. This is so real, and we all need to address our mental health. Seek God first and the professional second. Yep. Some people don't have God to seek. I can't get nobody to help me.
Well, but Jada does.
But we don't know that.
Jada is a Buddhist, remember?
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. But then all the money, all the fame don't mean you had a wherewithal to go and seek help because now your mental capacity isn't working. Look at all the stars. Look at Robin Williams.
That's true.
One of the greatest actors and comedians ever, but he couldn't, it overtook him.
That's true.
And it's like, well, you got money for somebody like a regular old Joe like me who cannot afford the top psychiatrists and therapists.
I wasn't saying to go seek help from an outside party. Obviously the ayahuasca was helping her, but you're still in the environment that created the mess in your head in the first place. I think the first thing to do is separate yourself from there, get a clear head, and maybe move, because they have the wherewithal to just move, start fresh, do something different.
But watch it. She never said that Will was the reason that the depression, and that she said, I mean, the thoughts in her mind, the voices. So she's telling her maybe that was the reason why she wanted to separate from Will, because of these voices. She needed some help, and unfortunately, she wasn't getting it. Now she's doing a lot better. I do know that they dropped this bombshell of that they were separated all the time, because now the internet is going crazy to help sell that book, because the book is coming out. So it makes sense to drop all this news right now, strategically.
She been at the crib, I'm just saying.
Right? She been at the crib.
She been at the crib.
It's sad, and we praying for people. So if you're listening right now.
That's like saying I'm separated, we sleeping in the same bed. No.
That happens, though.
It does not.
Oh, my.
If your feet on mine, we ain't separated.
Where you been at the rock?
we just mad.
Or you know what? Sometimes I've seen people in the community and it's a quiet secret, but everybody know your business when you're in a small community. I know families and couples that have been together, separated, still staying together, but you living in one room, you live in another room. Then guess what? Because love was there and is there, one day y'all just sitting in the living room, talking and having a good time. Now y'all reconnect and light that fire. Bam. Then y'all back separated. So it happens.
And this is a reach, so indulge me while I take you around the world to get next door.
Oh, Lord.
A lot of
Jesus.
people say white privilege is not real because they don't have that experience base. A lot of people say that slavery didn't happen because they don't have that experience base. I don't have that experience base.
Yep.
Like, seriously, if we separated out, get on out, get your raggedy little component set that didn't work no way, take it with you. No, we are not staying in the
locking
same...
garage doors, house doors, front doors.
I'm taking keys. I'm changing codes. I hope you do too. Trust me, I'm not getting ready to run up on you. I am going somewhere on Hill Boulevard. And I'm not talking about Hill. I'm talking about Heal.
Yeah, I know that's right. Well, everybody's not as strong as you, Tamara Fair, on the air. Stacey, how about you?
Listen, I'm gonna stay up out of it because it ain't my business. Okay?
All right.
No, his question is, if you're in a relationship that may be causing you some problems,
a long-term marriage.
Okay.
Do you stay?
Absolutely not.
No. Do you stay in the house to heal and consider yourself separated?
And I say absolutely not.
That part.
All right. Well, listen.
Same answer. Phrase it again. Absolutely not.
I have not been in that situation.
So let's just say you and Valencia, y'all on the rocks. You going upstairs, she going downstairs?
I'm going right upstairs, laying in bed with her.
See?
Unfortunately. I mean, but
and that's okay.
And you know
I'm
what?
Just saying it ain't for me.
And it ain't, but I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna lay there. We ain't gonna talk to each other. We sleeping back to back, maybe. But until we can
spooning, no
spooning, no spooning.
We ain't separating and spooning. I'm sorry.
But to figure out, sometimes everybody don't have the means to figure it out so fast.
That's not a means. That's a mindset. Do you think Jada Pickett? Oh, you're not talking about.
I'm not talking about. I'm just saying,
means.
Right? Not monetary means. I'm just saying the means, the wherewithal, or sometimes pride. Even though pride comes before destruction.
Now that's true.
Pride will have you not wanting to do it because you don't want people judging you, or like you don't want to call your parents and not because here's the deal too. I would say this, and we're gonna get off this topic. Sometimes you're going through and it's rough, but it's not that rough that you want other people to know what's happening. Because then if you come right back, now you got all these people talking about, well, you did this, you said this, you did that. So sometimes you just try to figure it out on your own. Yep. And sometimes it just goes longer than you expected. And you look up what you said, well, we're going to try this for 2 months, turn to 2 years, to 20 years. And now it's like, I've wasted a lot of my life. But now it's time to move on. So now they still trying to figure it out, she said. Hopefully they move on. But to the believers...
I can't wait to get the book. No, I'm just saying.
Well, look, and see, her job is done. Oh, Zoe, before we go, you want to say something real quick?
I do. I'm sorry. I just think that she needs to stop telling us everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's team too much.
Well...
But I am praying that they get back together because I love couples, particularly couples that are doomed at the beginning. And most Hollywood couples are doomed at the beginning with so many options. And they have actually stuck it out and still maintained a marriage, irrespective of the trials and tribulations that have come, much like Jay-Z and Beyonce, still have maintained a marriage. So I applaud them for that. And I'm praying that the Lord brings them back together in a fruitful, healthy relationship way.
Well, I'm praying that God's will is done, whatever that may be, together or separate. But I will say that you're a public couple, and sometimes you have to share these public trials because we overcome by the words of our testimonies. And this story may be helping somebody who's been on the rocks and hearing us talk about it, saying she should have left, should have did that, may encourage somebody to leave. And you know what? I hate to even go to this song because it don't go with the story. All I need is you. All we need is God. Not your partner. All you need is God. Lecrae right here on the Brunch Bunch. I was like, wait a minute.
We have to call her.
You should have put on Crazy by the wall.
I know.
You are crazy.
Hi, 1590.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do know Carl.
We
from
will
the
be
Simpsons.
right to you after the commercial. Okay?
Sure.
All right. Hold on one moment.
Yes, I do know Carl.
Well, she's selling her books.
Hey, Carl. Oh, he can't hear. Oh, he
She
ain't.
got him on mute.
Oh.
Hey, Carl.
Yo, what's up?
What up, good
In
brother?
true,
What up?
in true Carl style.
Ain't that true Carl style? He just
True
so chill
Carl
with
style. Yo, what up? He should have been a rapper.
it.
I am. I was a rapper. I'm a debunked rapper.
Oh my God. So are you celebrating 50 years of hip hop?
I'm celebrating 50 years over hip hop.
Okay. That part.
So, let's just bring him in.
Okay.
Let's hit some of that. And we're gonna make that happen. Ran the Carlo at the 40 under 40 awards.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to be a hip hop artist, man. And the group told me I couldn't rap, so I became the manager.
Okay, all right. And a poet.
And it actually worked out better for me that way because none of them niggas rapping, and I'm still running the business.
That's right.
You need this in front.
What? No, I'm good. I got my people. Thank you.
The eyes be playing tricks on me.
I know, right?
Okay, fade this out, Zoe. It's time for the Chauncey Code.
It's time to automate to elevate. It's your man, Stacey Chauncey.
Can you hear me clearly? Am I good? Am I
Yep.
coming through?
What's up? Carl West is in the building virtually, of course. Of course, it's the Wednesday, Security Wednesday, and we got our resident security expert right here. That's Stacey Chauncey. Stacey brings the best guests. Carl West is our guest today, and he is the chairman and CEO of MG Media, a global marketing and publishing firm founded in 1998. As publisher, MG Media is the parent company to The Truth magazine and producer of the Truth Awards, both created in 2000 to identify, profile, and showcase the innovative pro-life trailblazers in Chicago's entertainment and business communities. Mr. West sits on the boards of various organizations, including the Negro Basketball Academy, Southside Federal Credit Union, and Truth for Literacy Foundation. In 2009, he was inducted into Chicago Vocational High School Hall of Fame and has been recognized by Chicago's Who's Who for 2 consecutive years. It gives us great pleasure to welcome Mr. Carl West to the Brunch Bunch. What's up, Carl?
My man. Carl, how you doing?
I am absolutely superb, man. I mean, after a great introduction like that, the day is wonderful, it's shiny, it's the perfect weather, and I'm just out here being free.
I'm glad to hear that, Carl. So listen, Carl, I wanted to bring you on today just to talk about the migrant crisis here in Chicago, because I think it's important to educate our listeners that they may not understand the true magnitude of how it affects our neighborhoods, families, and communities. So I wanted you to kind of talk about that a little bit, if you could.
Well, this is a horrible situation all the way across the board for cities all around this country that are experiencing this influx of migrants that's being dumped on our doorsteps, man, without our consent. And that's really the tragedy in itself. You normally can give consent before somebody step on your porch and invite themselves into your house. But in this case, man, we have no control over these folks invading our city, our town, and our neighborhoods for that matter. And they just here. And it's going to get worse based on what I'm hearing in terms of the number of buses that's going to find their way into Chicago before the year's out. I mean, there's probably another 50 buses going to come here before this year's out. So, it's just not a good look, man, all the way across the board. And so I don't even know I can't even tell you what's going to be the maximum outcome, but I know it's not going to be good at the end of the day.
So that's good. So let me ask you this. So tell me, how do you see this playing out in the community? If I'm a homeowner, should I be concerned, and if so, why?
I mean, you should be concerned if you're a resident of Chicago, definitely, and if you're a homeowner also, because they placing these folks without our consent again in neighborhoods where we live, work, and play. And we are already faced with the public safety issues in some neighborhoods, right, because of the excessive things that we've seen in relation to violence and whatever, and theft and all the other chaotic things, man, that brings down the quality of life. And so that's what we're going to see happen. Our quality of life, man, is going to be hampered in various of ways. And so, I mean, again, what can we do about it? There are certain measures that we can do in terms of, preventing these migrants from injecting themselves into our communities and because look, we don't know where they came from. A lot of these cats are wearing monitors from their countries where they were criminals, alleged criminals, whatever. And you think they're not going to take that same approach coming here and being robbed of basic necessities? Yeah, they're gonna cause havoc, man, and again, they're gonna reduce the quality of life in our communities.
So, Carl, that's very good commentary. I want to know: do you think that this impact of the migrant influx is going to have a greater, pose a greater problem on Black communities in Chicago as opposed to non-Black communities in Chicago, or is it going to be the same all around?
Well, they definitely will create dysfunction in all communities because there's no community that's really being spared of this. And if it is really of the powerful who can control the narrative. And so, but definitely the Black community is going to always feel the bigger impact. And impact in this case is, again, a decrease in our quality of lives. So, yeah, we will feel the brunt of these buses dropping these migrants off in our communities. Absolutely.
So if you could define what you think the decrease in the quality of living would be, could you expound on that a little bit?
I mean, safety. I mean, we spend a lot of money on being safe in our communities, whether it be protecting our automobiles through security systems, making sure we park in the garage, making sure we park in lidded areas, making sure we try to park as close as possible to the places that where we live, work, and play. And then, of course, your home. We try to secure our homes through various mechanisms, alarm systems, cameras. And so we're going to see those things increase because we got to be careful, again, of who's walking up and down our front yards and then through our alleys. And so, we know some of the folks in our hood today, and so we can keep our eye on them. We know how they roll, but this is a brand new crop of people, man, and we don't know their faces outside of them looking a certain way, being mainly from
other places,
Hispanic and Latino community.
Yeah.
So, and I hate to really put that on them, but this is just the reality. That when you see a lot of them walking up and down your alleys, man, you really got to take a pause and
be acutely
and
aware.
Extra things to secure your property.
And that's why we have resident expert, security expert right here in the studio. And again, if you are concerned about issues like Brother Carl has brought up, you want to call that number, 866-447-3344. Again, the number is 866-447-3344. Now, Stacey, are you getting a lot of calls about situations like that?
You know, it's funny that you may ask that question. I actually got a call from 1390 listener last week out in the Roseland area that was concerned. So I went out to look at the church and I went out to look at her home. She's probably listening right now. And she was concerned about the fact that some of those migrants are already in that area and they're just kind of walking along the streets aimlessly, asking for, begging for money and just walking up on folks. And so she was concerned about her security as well as the parishioners that's leaving and coming and going from the church.
Now, are the churches concerned too? Because in big areas with like a church or church basement, I understand that people are breaking in so that they can find shelter from the cold and just from the elements, period. And a church would be a great place to do that.
Of course it is. And so that has not happened as of yet. But it's all about the prevention, what she was concerned about.
Right.
Before it happens, they wanted to make sure they absolutely are secured. So we're looking at adding some cameras. And mainly with her being a single woman and living in the community, she wanted to make sure that she was squared away at her personal home as well.
A lot of people don't even think about putting cameras in an alley they don't use, right?
Correct.
But this would be imperative, because even though you may not use it, like Carl says, the people that are new to your community, I put that in quotes, they may be using it in order for you to identify any misfunctions going on. You can actually look at that camera that you've placed in the back of your alley.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And that's the benefit of being able to view those items from your cell phone if you're not home, you know, and getting alerts as well in the event that someone penetrates a certain area, whether it's a door sensor, you know, so on and so forth.
Wow.
So, Stacey, I'm gonna ask you this, and Carl, you can chime in. Anybody can. Now, if I see somebody, I don't care if they're migrant plaid, I see you in my alley, and the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna call the police. I'm getting on that phone, my camera phone. I'm be like, hey, what you doing? But that's not the best thing to do. What's the best thing to do, Stacey?
The best thing is a call for someone to come out. You don't want to interact with those individuals at all. You know, just like Carl had mentioned earlier, some of those individuals that are coming over from these countries are already criminals, unfortunately. Some will come over with tethers. And that's interesting that there's no background check for them to get into the country at all.
But you can see their ankle bracelets.
Yeah.
They're very prominent, and they're not hiding them.
Yeah.
And nothing's being done about that. Like,
well, Carl, I got a question for you. How can media outlets work together with security firms to disseminate crucial safety information and ensure a well-informed public during this time of crisis? So, of course, here on the Brunch Bunch, we have Stacey Chauncey, but how can other outlets, I know you had a media outlet, what can we be doing to help to secure the residents that are already here?
Well, first, let me say two things. One, with Chauncey, first with the bracelets, right? I mean, we all know that when you have an ankle bracelet on, you have a diametric area where you can't go. You confined to your neighborhood, your block, basically, sometimes in your home. How are these people able to travel thousands of miles away with ankle bracelets on? That's first is alarming to me. I don't understand that. And then definitely, when Chauncey mentioned, we definitely want to have preventive mechanisms with security. So I think just by having alarms and cameras in your surrounding areas of your home is always priority number one. And then I agree with you, young lady. First thing I would do is get on the horn and say something, because they don't know where it's coming from, because you're just using your vocals, and it may scare them off while you also calling the police. So you do both.
But you just don't want to go out face to face. You don't want to go out face to face.
You don't want to go out there because you don't want to go out there and approach them. But if you're using your home security monitor where it has a speaker and you can scare them away with maybe a loud Tupac song or something, Tupac lyrics, some Ice Cube lyrics or something, and
Chuck D.
Cool. Some hardcore. They'll probably run down the alley.
They have a language barrier, Carl. They're not going to even understand.
They're not going to understand.
Check this out. They act like they got a language barrier. Remember that now.
Okay.
They know how to ask for money. They know how to receive it. Okay.
That's universal.
When they see that money, they're not saying, "Oh, I don't understand what that means." They say, "Yeah." So anyway, but to answer this question, I mean, it's always important to promote whatever it is that's going to enhance, again, the quality of life to your community through various media outlets. I mean, whether it be through PSA, the advertising, press releases, whatever. I mean, you got to always use whatever is at your disposal, man, to create situations that will, in this case, talking about the migrants, to help give you a better quality of life, because that's what's going to be challenging for us during this unfortunate situation here. And so I don't see no ends to it. So at the end of the day, if you feel you want to feel safer in your home, you definitely got to upgrade, add to a system that will give you a sense of comfort, or as much comfort as you think you can have under these situations.
And be consistent and diligent about it. Like, don't keep playing around with it. Oh, I think I'll call Stacey today. Then today turns into a week, and then somebody breaks into your house, and you're like, oh, I wish I had made that call. Stop wishing to get the calling. That number.
You definitely should just, do the first thing that you think of that will give you a quality of life and safety measures, and don't hesitate, because tomorrow is, may not come. And if it does come, it may come with different situations, a different outcome. Because, like you say, by the time you get to, you call Stacey, you keep putting it off, and then it only take 5 minutes to come into your garage or your house.
You're absolutely right, Carl. But you know what? I think people have a misconception of security measures. You have insurance and you go out of town. You don't worry about what happens because you know that your home and your items inside are covered, right? And you have to have a wraparound insurance coverage, which is in the form of a security system, one that is upgraded, one that is reliable, and one that is going to give you the ROI, your return on investment, should something happen.
And you're absolutely correct. And the other piece to that is that we have to act like it's not happening. We have to make sure that people understand that it is happening. It's here.
Let me tell you what's important for brothers and sisters, but primarily brothers, and this is real. I have 2 cameras set up in 2 places in my house. One is the living room and one is the bedroom. I only activated. I'm a single man, respectfully,
All right, you're listening. This Wednesday is Hump Day hookup, Carl. We'll get you hooked up.
Well, it may not be hookup day for some of them because they realize I got a camera on there.
I was about to say.
Ain't nobody gonna ever accuse me of doing something that I don't do.
Yep.
Oh, not me too, huh?
When I entertain company, I cut the camera on, right, just on that front end. Now, if it goes extended, it goes on.
It cut off.
The camera is on. They gonna see that this was a consented move.
Well, you know what, Carl? I'm glad I got you on here because I know that you are on the front line, and I do just want to mention first. Tina Hammond said, when your camera alerts you to somebody, you shouldn't yell out anything but immigration policing. But it baffles me, Carl, and you in the media. Yeah, Trump has mentioned this several times. He said that foreign nations are, and I quote, emptying their prisons into the United States due to what he perceives as a lax border policy. He also said at a rally in Alabama, they are emptying prison. He constantly, and we just said, no, it's a joke. Forget Trump. And we shot the messenger, although the message was on point. And so that's the problem we're having.
So Prophet Trump, once again, you quote him.
Well, I question, here's my objective with not just Trump, and what you said is correct, and our American judicial and system of government. I have to question how much these people really love America. Yeah. They say they patriotic and they act like they love America, but why would you do things that will plague America for decades to come just for your own special interest?
Yep.
That to me is not somebody that loves this country, and I question when I hear them say that. Oh, we patriots, we love America, yeah, but y'all stormed the Capitol, right? Look at. I mean, you can't love this country. You can't have it both ways. You can't say you love the police, but then when you want to storm the Capitol, you end up killing and hurting dozens of law enforcement. And so I don't understand what's wrong with these people are doing by really creating this long-term damage that's going to be on this country for decades to come as we try to clean this mess up. This is going to be a long, drawn-out issue that we will have to all be faced with again, disrupting our quality of life. And we work hard to try to get a quality of life that we feel comfortable with as we go home and move about these streets every day. They created it where our quality of life is going to be completely disrupted, and I just can't understand how can you do that to American citizens.
And we're going to get the bill for it.
Absolutely. Already get the bill for it.
We're getting the bill for it.
But you don't have to get 2 bills for it. That's why it's incumbent upon us to prepare our own domains.
Absolutely.
In a way that we're protecting ourselves. Because if you have the same mindset about America not protecting you, then guess what? It's your responsibility to to protect you.
Yeah, what you speaking native language. Listen.
That's because you gave me this mint.
I will say this, Stacey, shout out to you just wanting to educate the believers. I do want to mention, we're not fear-mongering. We're not trying to scare you into doing security. The reality is there is a migrant crisis. There is a teenage crisis. There's domestic terrorist crisis. You have to protect yourself at all costs. And you know what? Faith without works is dead. So have faith that God is going to protect you, but work your faith by calling Stacey Chauncey.
Yes, that number is 866-447-3344, 866-447-3344. You know, these cameras are lifesavers. A lot of these things have been going on for years and years, centuries even, but because we didn't have the benefit of a camera, now we do. So if you're scared of a camera, guess what? It brought the criminals who killed George Floyd to justice.
Yep.
It brought the criminal who killed, what's his name? 16 shots in a cover-up.
Trayvon
Martin to justice. And why couldn't it do the same for you, for someone who's vandalizing your private property?
So if you think that lock on the door, that 2x4 on the window gonna be the only thing you need, I urge you to call Stacey Chauncey, because here's the deal. This migrant crisis yesterday, and I can show you guys. I can put it up. Shoot, I don't know. I texted a friend of mine because we're preparing for Valencia's funeral to see if she could sing, and I hadn't heard from her.
Valencia's funeral.
I mean Valencia's father's funeral. Lord Jesus,
I rebuked
that. And when I text the number, I got a Spanish response back, and I'm like, "Is this Danny?" And iPhones, if you didn't know, you could translate directly in your text messages now. So I was able to highlight what it said, and it's a migrant that has this phone number now and was texting me back. And it's like, you know what? They're here to stay. We got to protect ourselves.
Wow.
Let me talk to the brothers again, for real, because this is what made me put these two cameras in my home. Over 10 years ago, one of my attorneys, he's a sharp, super civil rights attorney. He was hanging out with this young lady. They broke for years, right? And they broke up, and she came and bum rushed his crib because he was entertaining another young lady because she was, keeping an eye on him. And she rung his doorbell, and he asked, and it was just ironic, a freak of things where he asked the young lady to ring the door, buzz the person in because he was expecting somebody else, some of his friends to come over. She came in. All he did was she came in screaming. He carried her out and put her outside the gate, and she went to the police and said that he beat her up. She didn't know that this dude had a camera that recorded everything from the time he just carried. He actually, she said no, he carried her out, put her outside the gate, he closed the gate and went back in. She lied, and she looked like,
saved him.
And I hate for anybody have to go through that, but I'm just saying it's a situation that we find ourselves in sometimes, brothers and sisters, because of men who are approaching you in an inappropriate way.
Yeah,
correct.
These are these little simple things that we don't think about, but when that happened to him, I said to myself, man, I got to have me protection. I hope it never...
Well, we got to talk about that, Carl, and
practical practices.
That was good. When you come back. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate you.
All right. Later, Chauncey. Enjoy yourself, man.
Yep.
Y'all, this has been an eye-opening show. Thank you so much, Stacey. Y'all call Stacey at 866-447-3344, 866-447-3344. It might not be from intruders you want to protect yourself, but for those invited guests that go awry. What you think, Marcel?
I think we are out of time, but never out of content. We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Up next is AC Green. After that, Pastor DeAndre Patterson with the Afternoon Drive. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390.
Peace. Y'all, get your cameras. Yes, call that number and protect yourselves. See y'all. Peace. How about I'm thinking this is your purse, your